Jim Kostowiak is the host of American Resistance Radio. He, too, was arrested on Election Day last year. Mr. Kostowiak, first of all, thank you for joining us today. What is your take on this arrest that happened of Charles Dyer? It kind of looks like we're... Mr. Kostowiak, can you hear me? Okay. Mr. Stachowiak, we are having some technical difficulties, and that's information for you at home as well, too. The point of the story is that Charles Dyer had said that, as I mentioned earlier, that there would be some sort of conspiracy involving the U.S. government where they would start rounding up people just nonchalantly and sending them into concentration camps. And all of a sudden, he was arrested and charged with child molestation charges by some reports his own daughter. Now, of course, the people who support Charles Dyer say that's all a farce. This is all make-believe by the federal government, and this is just yet another example of corruption by the federal government. So we understand that there is some sort of legal proceeding happening as of this moment. And what's also happening at this moment is a chance, maybe at this point, to talk to Jim Stachowiak, who is of American Resistance Radio. Mr. Stachowiak, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, perfect. So I kind of gave a little bit of background information of what happened with Charles Dyer. What is your take on what happened with Mr. Dyer?
Well, in 60 seconds, basically, this comes right out of a playbook from the 90s. This is the same playbook that was used against the Branch Davidians on sexual molestation charges which to date have not been proven. When I look at the track record of the American Terrorism Force, the ATF, and the record of burning 17 children alive, shooting an unarmed mother in the head, Ruby Ridge, and more recently the TSA planting cocaine on a young college student, the ATF has a track record of manipulating data to get desired convictions. What's not been talked about in the media, and you're going to be the first network this is going out live, is that the ATF is now trying to say that Charles Dyer, a.k.a. July 4 Patriot, was in possession of a silencer. On my website, I have the actual eBay receipt from it, and we can produce in court the witness that gave him the silencer. Now, we're not talking about the grenade launcher, but they're trying to trump up more charges on a silencer. So my government is trying to spend thousands of dollars on an airsoft silencer. But what's also not talked about is these allegations stem from an alleged incident over a year ago, and his ex-wife's uncle, Mr. James Hikia, which is also posted on our website, is a registered sex offender that's had multiple contacts with the alleged victim. I'd like to know why no one's talking about this. Yes, we question a government that lied to us about 9/11, that gets us into unconstitutional wars, and not a word that comes out of our justice system can be trusted based upon the false convictions in the past. That's why we're standing by Dyer, who served this country in combat.
Mr. Stachowiak, first of all, thank you so much for that bit of information about the silencer. Just a couple points of clarification here. You called ATF the American Terrorism Force, just so that people at home know they're also more officially known as Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the Bureau of.
Convenience store, right.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you was this. There was some concern about his dealings. Let me backtrack a little bit. There was some concern about what he had to say about the government, and maybe this is the idea is maybe that's what led him to being arrested. Is this kind of what you're saying too, that one thing led to another?
Well, absolutely. The thing about Charles Dyer is he's never advocated anything but self-defense. I stand by the same positions of Charles Dyer or July 4 Patriot. Everything he said in the video, I and thousands of people stand behind. We do have a tyrannical government, and we will defend our Constitution as a final option. You know, the whole reason that people question our possession of like, as I have behind me, I have an AK-47 Kalashnikov, and I have a Daewoo DR-200 5.56. These are the liberty teeth of the people. The whole reason our founders gave us the Second Amendment is to protect us against tyranny and government. Right now, we still have political means, but our firearms are when all political means are exhausted. That means when we can't be talking like you and I are doing today, when we can't gather in the streets, when we can't pass out leaflets and criticize our government. But right now, we have that opportunity.
Okay. Mr. Stachowiak, thank you so much, Mr. Stachowiak from American Resistance Radio. We'll be back after this.